I am Hayzel Greene, an inquisitive, unapologetic, voluptuous introvert who blooms and blossoms behind closed doors. This is my podcast, a platform where I will discuss my writings and where I will bring to light conversations with my good girlfriends, sisters, brothers, and homeboys about love, life, music, and most importantly, sex. So leave your judgment at the door and welcome to Hanging Out with Hayzel.
It's Hayzel, baby.
In a relationship, should cheating be the deciding factor to walk away?
I don't think that it is the worst thing that could happen. It holds a lot of merit, I think. Now, what happens next?
It holds a lot of merit.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, you can think of it different ways, for real. It's like, why are you cheating? Is it me or is it you? So the fact of someone cheating can open up many questions. And some of those questions are hard questions to answer.
You just opened up one very important question, which is it me? First of all, when an individual finds themselves in a situation to where they consume another person and they're so tied to another individual, if they have consumed another person and you found out, you asking yourself, is it me? That's victimization of yourself. You're victimizing yourself. That's first of all. So beyond getting over the fact that it's happened to you, now you're a victim. So that's another aspect of what has happened that you have to get over. It may not be because of.
Do you care?
Here's the thing. In the marriage, when the vows are taken, and it's to have and to hold, and it's to death do us part, sickness and to health, one would believe that if one will stray, it's forgiven. My honest opinion is that the way that we were groomed and we were brought up by our ancestors and our parents, we were taught that that's the ultimate disrespect and demise to our relationship. And I honestly, as a person, feel that we're human. And as humanistically, we make errors and we make mistakes.
And cheating can be a mistake.
Cheating can absolutely be a mistake. And the reason why I say it can be is because I've been cheated on and I've looked someone in the eye and I've understood why they did it. And the reason why I understood why they cheated on me is because when she told me that in you mourning your father, you forgot to love me.
So that can be justifiable because you were consumed with grief on this self journey. You forgot to look out of your bubble, trying to take care of yourself mentally and probably physically. I can see where thinking about someone else on that level could have kind of be put to the wayside. But
no. They're supposed to be there for you.
Absolutely.
They're supposed to 1,000,000%. They're supposed to wait it out. No.
And that was my next thing was, does that make it okay? Like, is that excuse valid? Because you forgot to love me because you were mourning. That makes it okay for me to cheat? I don't think so.
No. But back then, I had a big issue with it because I said to myself, it was selfish and you hurt me and you didn't think about me. But the more that I grew and I started to understand what it is to be jeopardized, what it is to be compromised, and what it is to be made to feel like not being wanted. So I mourned. That was just the one that was with me. I lost my father. So even if it was momentarily, it shouldn't have affected the fact that I was not able to romantically make love to my woman. It shouldn't have affected the fact that my woman felt like she was jeopardized in me loving her and making her feel validated. So she strayed. And it took me years later to understand that there has to be a commonality, and everyone that cheats couldn't possibly be a bad individual. And reason being is because I've been through a situation to where I feel like I pushed someone and they cared enough about my mental psyche to where they couldn't tell me the truth, to where you're not pleasing me and I'm not happy with you, because they were catering to what I was going through. So they strayed.
We have people who cheat because of circumstances, which can be a mistake, something that they needed just at that point and one and done. But what happens when you continue to step out on your relationship? Because once you become one with someone in a relationship, it's not vows as in marriage vows, but you kind of pledge something to that person. So what happens with that?
We were taught that.
Absolutely.
We were 1,000,000% taught that. And if that was the case, each and every last one of us was taught who we commit to, that's what it is. I believe that there's a such thing as a cheater. There's a such thing as a cheater that makes mistakes. There's a such thing as someone that steps out. There's a such thing as someone that's narcissistic in the way that they behave in their relationship. But I also believe that we have to always understand that there are individuals that if you don't make a certain decision in life, you may find yourself in a situation to where you question who you are.
But see, somebody can argue with you and say that there are decisions. You can decide whether or not you want to cheat or not. So that validate the mistake, because you can choose to walk away. You can choose not to take that advantage.
It's never validated. But can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Let's give a scenario. Let's take a scenario of a woman that's struggling with her weight. And she's struggling with her weight. So therefore, she don't want to be intimate with her mate. She doesn't want to be intimate with her mate. There's no romance. There's no intimacy because she feels insecure. But this individual does not explain nor express that this is what she's going through. It's just a rejection. Let's just say that husband, that wife, that mate, that partner, they stray because they feel rejected. There's so many elements to why an individual can stray. Straying is one whole thing, but I honestly believe in when a person stray outside, first of all, before you go gun-ho, listen to why they strayed. Because regardless of whether you're going to stay or whether you're going to leave, you're going to listen into their reasoning, and they may be telling you something to correct for the next person. But we have just been taught that cheating is just the ultimate demise in relationships. And I don't agree with that. And a lot of people in the world is going to think that I am wrong with that. But relationships are not marriages.
That's true. That's true.
And I just feel like if you want a relationship to be bonded, and held to the accountability that the union of a marriage is held to, that's something that we should put on the forefront, because a relationship is not a marriage. Dating is not a marriage. Us living together is not a marriage. You and I committing, it's not a marriage. You and I having stocks and bonds together, that's not a marriage. We can be together 40 years, but if we still don't go upon those witnesses and our higher power upon this state, it's not a marriage. So cheating is something that I believe more people should listen to the reasoning and the understanding. Even if you walk away, listen, because I don't think it's that many heinous people in the world to where they're just out to maliciously just hurt. I honestly believe that a lot of people cheat because they lack. And it's not lack of sexual, because I've cheated before because I lacked someone that just wanted to ask me, how are you? I've had mental cheating relationships because I came home to a woman that didn't care to say never to me, are you okay? I've built relationships outside of mine, mentally, verbally, some not sexual. But when you lack something, it can get built other places. And cheating is just not sexually. It can be on all kind of different levels.
Yeah, most definitely mentally.
Yes, emotionally too.
As a woman who has been cheated on and has cheated, I can honestly say that being cheated on, most definitely it's hurtful. Now, as I am now and looking back on those relationships that I was cheated on, the way I acted or my response to it, I probably wouldn't do that now, because now I look at things differently. Now I've never been married, so I can never say what happens to a person when they have vows and they cheat. However, being in a long-term relationship with one individual who's cheated numerous times, for whatever reason, I decided to stay. As I just recently had a conversation with the fact that cheating is a form of abuse, because I know at one point in time I had no clue, or I'm not going to say I didn't have a clue, but I never thought of it that way. There are ramifications based on the fact of why did you cheat? Okay. So, and I've had all kinds of, I could say justification for a lack there of a word. Even with someone telling you why, it's up to you to decide if that reasoning is something that you want to take. Some of those reasons are bullshit.
Yes, it is.
But they're their reasons.
No, I agree.
So you should, I guess, kind of hold that is valid for them. But at the same time, you kind of look back at those relationships and be like,
You honestly know what I look back on?
What?
I honestly look back, and this is what I tell myself. And I'm being honest. This is my honest opinion. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I would love to sit here and say, like, damn, I've been hurt and I was cheated on. And no, I have to come for the real and the raw, because this is what you're about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time that it has happened to me in my 27 years in the life that I'm in, the 3 times that I have been cheated on, when I have actually calmed myself and went to that individual, like, what did I do? Or what happened? When it was told to me, there was a reflection. Like, hey, you know what? There is something, because with me, I can't speak for anyone else. But my issue was, hey, when someone try to come sit on a couch and love on you and hug you, don't push them away. When they try to be in tune with you, don't put your friends before them. I learned lessons by experience, and I had to give doubt to the fact, because I did it myself, because I had someone that went through something with her body when she had a baby, and I was with her, and we went almost a year as 2 women, and she would not, like, under no circumstances, like, it's my body, like, I feel uncomfortable, babe. I don't want to touch you. I don't want you to touch me. And I was like, man, like, I'm okay with your body. I was okay when he was, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I love you for who you are. I love you. And I did make a big mistake. And I did. Like, I didn't get drunk. Shit, hell, I would have did that shit off a cup of tea or coffee. But I made an error and I made a mistake. But when everything hit the fan and I lost what I had to say to myself that you got something that you needed fulfilled. It wasn't fulfilled long term because you lost something, and what you got it fulfilled with, it wasn't something to keep around. But at that moment, that woman made me feel insecure within myself, because she felt insecure about her body, and she didn't want to and she didn't want no one to make love to her, and she didn't want no one to touch her, and she didn't want no one to caress her. So in her not wanting that, I don't get to do that to my partner. And that, to me, as a woman, started to make me feel insecure.
So it's a huge chain reaction.
It is, because if you don't want yourself, it can trickle to me like you don't want me.
I never thought about that.
So
okay.
I got a friend, her and her hubby, they're in a new marriage. And my friend, she's gained some weight, and she laughs and she jokes like, I ain't giving that nigga. And I tell her all the time, like, friend, why you think that's funny? I really asked her, why that's funny?
Yeah.
You know, you're still dealing with another human that wasn't hurt with you. wasn't brought up with your social norms, wasn't brought up with your characteristics, wasn't brought up with the way you love, wasn't brought up with your love structure. So that's why I go back to everyone that makes the error of stepping out. They're not the bad guy.
Okay. I get it. And you know what you're saying now, in a reflection, why I was cheated on, was told that I was emotionally unavailable, and then that sometimes I was physically unavailable. But me looking at it for myself, I ain't gonna say necessarily doing me, but for me, I was trying to make it happen. And I guess that just wasn't okay for them.
Yeah.
So came the cheating multiple times. And there has been times that I had to ask the question, well, what's wrong? Like, what am I doing wrong? Now, the blame kind of went from you as the cheater to me as the victim to say, well, what is it that I can do better to make you not stray? But the fact of the matter is, as I learned, it's always, no, I'm going to take it back. It's not always. But at some point in time, it's going to be a reason that they think is valid.
Most of the time, that's narcissism.
Yeah. I remember, I remember one time, one of the reasons was, well, I can't say that was the sole reason, but one of the reasons was that I didn't like to give fellatio. And that was something that they wanted or they craved. And I was like, wow.
That's crazy.
That's why I said there are some excuses that it's valid for them, but for the person that is being cheated on, it's some bullshit.
No, that's an idiotic level though. When we talk about excuses and we talk about validation, I mean, even with men, like, so I'm gonna give a situation with men. Like, I've heard of situations with men that they're insecure about their own size of their penis. So they're so insecure about their own size of their penis that they never even ask the woman if she pleased, because they so insecure to where, fuck it, I just don't think it works for her. So I'm just going to go back to the normalizations of what I do, because I'm just so used to it, because the person that I think I'm doing it to, she doesn't show me homage like I think I should be showed. They work off silence and they move in a certain way, but just because she doesn't express it in a way doesn't mean that she's not pleased. Like, there are so many elements to why people can stray, even myself. So the way I am, a woman can say, I thought she was hard, and I left my husband because I would like to mess with a woman that's hard. But once you experience me, I'm not. But you're in a relationship with me.
Right.
And once we will and we deal, if you stray, there's two things I will always ask. I've always asked anybody cheated on me. There's two things I always ask. Is it something I can fix? And is it something I did?
Those are valid questions.
Is it something I can fix? Because if it's something I did, the two people that contributed to me coming into this world, my mother and my father, what they taught me was humanistically, the way that we operate. We are human. Like, we can set up and we can struggle. Let's just be real. We being real?
Yeah, we absolutely are being 100% real and transparent.
Do people really honestly want to stay with the same thing for 20, 30 years? No.
So that's it.
They do not.
Okay.
Mentally, they might. Financially, they might. Emotionally, they might. But sexually,
they don't.
In a 20-year, a 15-year, a 10-year period.
Say somebody got to up their game.
Logistically speaking.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to reach out and ask. Not, is it me?
But is it you?
It may not be you. It may just be me. It may just be me. And if it's me for that moment, that fucking moment, because I'm human, do I deserve to lose everything that I've built in the foundation? Because I'm still human now.
And humans make mistakes.
Baby, mistakes was put here to make. Like, you can make one mistake. You could put paprika in your yam instead of cinnamon. And fuck the whole dish up.
Oh, shit.
And both of the bottles of seasoning is
look
the
alike.
Same color, so you can make an error.
Mm-hmm. Like that salt and that sugar.
very similar, other than one make you frown and one make you smile.
Hey.
What did I do? Every time that I have been hurt in the capacity of an individual straying away from me, through all my tears, through all my drama, through all my busting out windows and everything I've done, I have to understand why. Because it's just not you did it. There has to be a reason why anybody would jeopardize a well-being. Even if you're the breadwinner, you jeopardize a mental well-being. No one ever wants to fight between two people unless you are a who? Narcissistic individual. Niggas ain't built like that. Oh, excuse me. People are not built like that. They make mistakes. We be pushed. Some people like to do it because they get away with it. Some people comfortable because they know that it's accepted. A lot of men cheat because they know it's okay.
And they have no type of consequences behind it.
I mean, what have been the consequences?
That's what I'm saying. There are none. There are no consequences that it's okay. And I could say in my relationships, and I can only speak for myself and maybe, a few people who have confided in me. I think it's like awarding a behavior. So if you go and cheat on me and you get away with it for however long you get away with it until I find out. I don't do certain things, accept you back, thinking that some things are going to change, and they may not, because you haven't had that crucial conversation that says, this is what's up. This is why this has happened. And what is it that we can do to move past this? You don't have it, but your action is, now we've already moved past this. Whatever conversations should have taken place have not. And then what happens is somebody goes and cheat again, because guess what? They got away with cheating. And anybody
I ain't never said
who gets away with stuff is going to continue to do it again.
It's called recidivism. Listen, I have never said you should take an individual back that do it consecutively, okay? That's
I was just the idiot.
No, not really, because sometimes, we really honestly, people so powerful. It's so powerful when you love an individual, when you love a person, and when you all have an understanding. Our soul ties be so different with each other. And especially with us, anybody born after the 70s, we got fucking hip hop soul ties. You know what I'm saying? So our soul ties is rap songs. And I don't think people really understand that, but our soul ties is they're rap songs. If the individual that you dealing with do not understand that, hey, you know what? Let me put this better for you. A lot of you women deal with men that only want you as a woman. They never said they want your heart and your soul. Y'all
That's
build
deep.
your whole surrounding and your life on this man. And in months, years' time, when shit hit the fan and he don't produce what he's supposed to produce, y'all devastated, y'all this or y'all that. But the whole irony of it is, when y'all be on a phone for hours, everybody be when you first like somebody, when you're on that beginning stage, where you sitting on the phone for 3-4 hours, listen.
So that's the key, to listen.
The key is to listen. It's two things. When you talk about an ex to someone, when they say, I don't want to talk about it, that's a red flag. The second thing is a red flag is an individual that don't want to discuss their wrongs will always bring up their ex's wrong. Who are you? Never trust a perfect person.
They leave their accountability out the door.
Absolute. A Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde will never tell you accountability. They always gonna play victim because they want you to understand them. Because in you understanding them, you gravitate more to them and you want them more.
Is it that they want you to understand them, or is it that they want you to sympathize with them so that then if you feel that sense of sympathy that you may gravitate more, especially if you have that type of personality that makes you hone in on those type of people?
But it end up the same way, because you know what? It end up you having that compassion this person prime example. You might be the man that tell you, I ain't never had no woman treated me like this. Like every woman I mess with always been like this, always been like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. So once he put that in the air to you, oh, well, this a man that values me because, hey, this man, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. Okay. It's all in action. It's all in action. Like, we can say any and everything, but how we move, it's how we move. And I guarantee, like, baby, we all full of faults. We all full of mistakes, and we all full of error. But one thing is for sure, one of the best people in the world is the person that's able to tell you why they did it. Not the reason they going to continue or the reason I want to do it, because I'm a true believer that when a mistake is made, it's a mistake. I come to you, baby, let's correct. Example, I come to my woman and I say to you, hey, it's been a year since you've touched me. It's been a year since you've made love. It's been a year since you done showered with me, bathed with me, because you said you're insecure about things within yourself. I 1,000,000% understand, but I still have to have that understanding within myself where you forgetting about me, and that's not fair. I shouldn't get punished for your insecurities. I'm not your counselor, I'm not your therapist, and I'm not your doctor. So if you're going through something as a woman, your body going through changes as a woman. A man, he going through changes with his sex drive. Why are you taking that out on me as your partner? Because I am not an individual that can fix you. I'm here next to you. And I just believe that we just live in a society where they taught us to fix, improve, or walk away when they don't do. Cheating is not a reason to walk away. And the reason why cheating is not a reason to walk away is half of the motherfuckers walking away that's done been cheated on is people. If they run into the right people, they would cheat. I would cheat, and I know you would cheat. And the reason why I say I know you would cheat is because who wouldn't want evanescence and you ain't tied to God? Are you kidding me? Well, I lie.
Yeah. Well,
that's evanescence. Who wouldn't want?
Yeah, that's true.
That's like Noah saying, instead of you sitting at that table on Thanksgiving eating that pig and that dirty ass chicken and that little filthy little turkey wing and leg. Come on and come on my boat. The little cleanest little animals in the world. It's like, and that's like you telling Noah, no, nigga, I don't want to come on your boat, Noah. I'm just going to stay down here on 55th and eat my chitlins and my pork chops. Absolutely not. You ain't going to pull Noah down with the cleanest animals of them all, is you?
No. Dangle that right carrot. It's on.
Baby, it's a habit. It is a habit. When a bond is built, it can get built in the best of units. You can have the best relationship in the world. And you can see that one person that worked behind you at work that smiled just a little too much. It might just tell you something to capture your heart and may jeopardize what makes you smile. We're human.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Okay. I get that whole mistake thing. Everything is not calculated.
Every time it's not calculated. It's not. What's the gain from it? What's the gain from it?
That's true.
What's the gain from it? We replace windows. We replace car tires. People go to court, restraining orders, children, heartache, heartbreak. It's nothing to gain from. Now, you do have some people that actually get off on maliciously taking advantage of good people and cheat. But I have seen, and I have people around me. And shit, I just told somebody 2 nights ago, you need to cheat on her. Shit, I did.
Wait, didn't you say that tonight too?
Yeah. Oh, I sure did.
Okay.
I just told one of my besties was over here tonight. She needs to cheat on her woman.
Yeah. What you say? How long y'all been together? Oh, about 8 years.
I said they've been together 8 years. And I said, when you start staying with somebody out of sympathy and because you worried about what they gonna be without you mentally, that ain't love. You pretty much like a fucking psychiatrist that retired and worried about a patient. That's not love.
You always reach back. Yeah, you always reach back.
But it's not love. Because you know what? I was about to say some shit, but you know what?
It's an obligation at that point.
It is. It ain't even no obligation. It's stupidity. Because guess what? I don't want you, but I'm worried about your mental and how you gonna be without me. That's the most stupidest shit in the fucking world I ever heard. You don't want this motherfucker, but you worried about how they gonna be without you.
Is that the same thing as I don't want you, but I don't want nobody else to have you? Or that's just a totally different realm right there.
No. That's what I was going through back when mommy demise was taken. When I don't want you, but I don't want nobody else to have it. That's those people. We move on, but I come back when you got something going on. Make your life a living hell when you moving on, because I don't want you to move along, because I don't want you, because I don't want you fully, but I don't want you to move on fully without selfish.
I was told that before. I didn't want anybody, a particular person, but I didn't want them. It's crazy that I remember exactly where I was at when I had that conversation, and they said, you don't want them, but you don't want nobody else to have them. Mm-hmm. Why don't you let them go?
Let them go.
And when I told you that hit home, I was like, is that true? Am I displaying that? Is that what I'm doing? Is that what people see when they see me and see him? Is that I'm just dragging him along, but I really don't want him?
It can go either
and
way. That can go either way. Listen, it can go either way, Guru, because that can go in the way to where, yes, I'm dragging him along. I still want him, but I don't. And the crowd, the oppositions know that. But then that can go to that force to where too, like, baby, sometimes things don't have to get drug along. Sometimes people brand themselves to you and you don't know it. And I'm not being funny. And let's put this in right. Slavery didn't stop because we was able to be, because we still enslave each other. In relationships every day, African Americans, we enslave each other. We brand each other. Baby daddies, baby moms, lesbians, the faggots and the faggots. We all brand each other. We brand each other. Once we get with each other, you're mine. Like, it's like a brand. You literally just can't take a poke and put it in a fire pit and just put it on someone. But we brand each other.
I'm about to think about that one.
It wasn't even good for us in the beginning. We just thought it would be something that would just equal something in the end. So it's us, though. That's why I say cheating, because yeah, when a woman comes to me and say, you know what, let me say why I cheated on you, bitch, because that's what she said. Let me say why I cheated on you, bitch, like just like that, because you forgot about it. And when she said, you lost your dad, and she told me, you quit your job, I took care of you for you. She did. This woman did. Still make sure I look good, live good, everything. I never want to say, but when she told me, you forgot to love me and your sibling, your baby sister, your nephews, because your people's all over the world, you forgot to love me. So 2 years later, you find out I'm cheating on you, and you destroy. And now you want to bring down the walls of Troy. But I done let you relax and be okay for 2 years off the way that you feel. You don't want to be bothered with me because you was mourning, right?
Right.
Really, should I ever hurt my life? Let me pack my shit, because to me, that's reality. I should have never forgot. And whatever we go through in life, cancer, sickness, job loss, job issues, children problems, family problems, we should never jeopardize for a long period of time what we make next. And we do it a lot. We put our friends first. Sometimes our mates want to take us out, but we'll say we got dates with our friends, or it's a friend date. Like, some of us have relationships to where our house never even be free because our friends always over. Like, it's so many stipulations to how we love. Cheating ain't the worst thing. How you love me is.
Yeah, that all of that just brings back, those aha moments. Just make me, yeah. A lot of that, I was into that. That's crazy. But I guess it's a good thing that now you can go back and reflect and think about it and talk about it, and not necessarily justify for it, but now you have some awareness of it, because a lot of times you can be so deep into something that you actually don't see what you're in. And I most definitely been there.
I know. I used to play the victim, right?
Did you? Really?
You know what? So I'm going to be honest, like, I really got somebody I love, like, more than anything in the world. And I want to marry this young lady. And she's older. Our commonality in our issues is the way of thinking. I had to learn and I had to understand that. And I think that I really hope that she hears this, because I really think that she's not interested, because to her she says that I'm under masonry, I'm free thinking. But I tell her no, I'm not free thinking. I keep an open mind to that. Hey, everybody that fucked up ain't no bad person. And like I'm adamant about that, because like I'm not a bad person. I've always seen structure. I've always seen a mother and a father that always has like been married. Like I've always seen structure. But in my own like love life, like I've seen and I've done, and I understand. Like I understand what it is for a person to say to you, like, hey, babe, it is a holiday. Like, you want to cook something? I want my parents to come over, because I might be like, shit, I ain't cooking nothing. I'm going to go to work today. And that might be the third or fourth year y'all together in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I understand
Right.
for every Sunday how it is for a man to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and get dressed and don't come back to 10, 11 o'clock at night. And he leaving out the house every Sunday because, yeah, Sunday football day, but my man, you got a wife and kids. Like, I have learned to respect what people have told me, how they feel. My parents ain't teach me this, because if I went off what I seen, I would go off what my mother showed me. And it was like, what Lola want, Lola get. But my dad is, shit,
I never thought about it like that.
That's how, to me, that's how my mom was. Like, it was what Lola want, Lola get. Even if the men was unhappy, we would never know it, because they made that lady happy. When people ask me today, like, was your dad and your stepdad happy? Shit, hell, you get me drunk enough, I'll say hell no, because she was a lot. But what Lola wanted, Lola got, because my daddy just used to tell me to please is easier. But when you just please, you really don't get to say you and tell you and be you. When you please you and you go along with who they are.
Okay.
He was him for a long time. And that's what we seen. And that's why my ass be sitting here in these relationships with these women. And I just be being me like, okay, babe, I'll see you later. Okay, well, babe, I'm going this way and I'm that. I never question nothing until I be like, oh, damn. Then my feelings hurt and I'm crying, calling my brothers like, we want to kill this motherfucker, this bitch, and cheated on me. Because I've been shown to trust. You hear me? But
yeah.
recently, I really have had to tell myself, like, girl, we are human. Cheating ain't the worst thing that can get done. We can get over that. That's minor. And the reason I honestly believe that it's minor is because at least 70% of the time that good people cheat, you was pushed. Because I've had a woman that told me, I don't want you to touch me. And I had one over a year, like, she didn't want to make love to me. She didn't want me to touch her. Like, it wasn't no intimacy. Like, I used to get so mad to where I used to have to walk to the couch, because, like, you're making me feel insecure within myself. And that's bad. But when I did stray and I started cheating, you know, she found out, you know, and when I finally came with, I ain't no excuse, man, I haven't touched you in a year, and we live together. I haven't touched you in a year. I haven't made love to you in a year.
And you know what? Let me, and I hear you, but this just popped into my mind. Why is it when a cheater is cheated on, they can't take that medicine? Why do they get upset because they're being cheated on?
You know
but
what?
They started the game.
I'm gonna be honest. I think in language terms, the folks probably would say something wrong with me. That was not my concern the times I got cheated on. Do you know what I wanted to know? And you know what nobody never told me, because you know people who cheat. You know what they don't want to tell you, right? What's the one thing people who cheat don't want to tell you?
Please enlighten me.
Why? They never want to tell you why. So I'm a Cancer. Why? Because I believe in the Kama Sutra. That's our intimate. That's our language. That's like our Spanish to each other. So if you strayed with that, that's major to me. So it'd be so hard for me to take. But I'm telling you, baby, I listen, because when I tell you, let's just come off myself. Over my 28 years, it'd be 28 years I've been messing with women July 2nd. It'd be 28 years. over my years of just friends that I've had, people who've been cheated on. When I've heard some of the reasons, I've had to tell some of my friends, like, man, I don't condone people to stay, but I have had to tell some people, like, that don't fuck with you. Because I'm going to say it again. Imagine you laying next to a man for a whole year and he never touched you. He never caressed you. Valentine's, sweetest babe, you don't get enough. He never show you no romance. If every time you try to touch him, he rejects you. Now, he ain't told you there's nothing going on with him. He just pushed you away. So you kind of think it's you. And I'm going to say this shit. Don't let nobody ruin you because they going through something. Because the insecurity of people that we with, that shit can trickle down to us.
You know what? I think one of the reasons why, and I can only speak for myself, that I pushed a person away from me on the intimacy level and other things as well is because they didn't, I ain't gonna say they didn't measure up, but it was like they wasn't doing what I thought they needed to be doing to secure the bag. Or,
you can't express that to them?
I'm sorry?
You can't, if a person is not measuring up to you, and I already know you, so I know that you believe in an art and war, and I know that you believe in all kinds of the conversation with the body. If a person don't measure up to you, you're not afraid to tell a person. You're not afraid to tell a man, hey, or are you?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not afraid to tell a man, hey, you're not. So it's just vice versa. Like, even the same thing. So I was a whole other life situation. Like, baby, woo, no, I was about to say something like, baby, listen, you got to say something. Like, you have to say. And the reason I'm saying this is because, listen, I know somebody that's getting ready to lose. To me, I'm a lesbian woman. I got a friend around that got, to me, one of the best kind of men that you can have in the world. And my friend, to me, my straight friend, this is me, a lesbian, is what I'm saying. My friend is getting ready to lose. One of the best motherfucking things walking is because she thinks she's above and beyond a conversation. See, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, well, where he at?
You see what I'm saying? All I told my friend
shit.
is he ain't never straight.
Yeah.
So she has an issue with a sexual life. She probably gonna see this because this shit, if it get posted, the link gonna be on the page. She has an issue with their sexual life because she wants them to do things that she's never asked him to do. And all I keep telling my friend is, if you conservative, fuck you blaming him. If you ain't never told no motherfucking person, I don't want you to go to Brooklyn, I want you to go to Maine on me, what you blaming this man for? People are conservative until you let them know you open, right? Like, you, and I'm just telling them, that's her husband. All I'm just saying
it's a lot of undercover
you
freaks.
Been acting like this whole clean little Catholic charity who you work for, little Jezebel, all this whole time, and you don't want them to do nothing. Now you ready for them to knock if you buck, and like you acting all like little crazy shit, but tell him what you want. Because if I mess with the man and I wanted him in something particular, just say for instance, let's just say my man. Let's just say I don't like the way my man strokes. I don't like the way you stroke. It don't even matter how big his anatomy is. It's just I don't like the way that you stroke. I would have to tell him. I would have to take his tips. I would have to maneuver him. I would have to gravitate him to me and tell him, listen, baby, come into me. Don't just let him keep making a fool of himself because you think you're going to emasculate him.
Well, I mean, you have a lot of people that won't do that.
Tell them. I guess I can say I just dumped another person, honey, because, yeah. So I would never think that I would get like a 45, 46-year-old lesbian in my house, older than me. But I would never think that I would get one over here. And like, we done left the bar. We done been drinking bad liquor in the city. Everybody playing with that liquor. So, we done been drinking bad liquor. We done been drinking bad liquor. Okay.
You said bad liquor.
So, girl, bad liquor. We done been drinking bad liquor at all the bars in East Cleveland, okay?
So wait, I'm sorry. For a person that don't drink, what is bad liquor? Is that brown liquor? Because I have heard that brown liquor just does something to someone, or what's
Tito's.
Tito's is bad liquor. Got
Tito's. Tito's. We was taking shots of Tito's. So we come back to my house. I just knew, like, oh, baby, do you hear me? When I tell you, baby, Judy.
Okay.
Baby, listen. I just knew that it was about to be a whole Joe video. Let's make a love scene. See me in blue. One of them, okay? One of them, okay? I thought it was going to be a whole situation. Now, in the beginning, my foreplay, everything, it was going real good, like blah, 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 blah. But in the beginning, I still had on my sports bra, you know what I'm saying? My little boxer briefs, you know what I'm saying? Still looking like Trey Songz and shit, okay?
Trey Songz, oh shit, okay.
Baby, soon as that music get to go and that Rihanna skins came on, and I took off that sports bra and shit, and them double D's came out, and old girl got to looking like, what the fuck? And she was like, oh, you know, the girl I've been with for 10 years, I ain't never seen her naked. Holy.
What?
Holy.
What? Are you serious? For 10 years?
Man, she told me that she been with her ex-wife for 10 years, and she said she never seen her naked. She's always made love to her with a strap through her box, and she's never touched her boobs or anything beyond a sports bra. And like, I didn't understand any of that, because, you know, I'm kind of like, my milkshake bring all the girls in. Right, that's better than yours. So when she got to talking, I didn't even want to have sex no more. I actually want to start counseling this bitch. Like, is you okay?
Well, I think there's a lot of people who still sleep in the dark.
But our conversation, this is what our conversation was. I don't want to offend you. I don't want to offend you, because for you to stop me and dead smack in the middle, there's a reason for that. Like, you've been with a woman for 10 years, and you ain't never seen her without boxers and a sports bra. You
something wrong with you.
Are like an Audi bag to me. I can't do nothing with you. Once I pay 10 cents for you, when I put you up, you either going to go under a cabinet for me to go back next time, and I don't even do that, or you become a trash bag. All I'm saying is that's foolish.
I've never heard quite the analogy.
That's fucking foolish. How can I make love to you and you ain't never made love to no woman? You've been fucking close the last, how many years?
10.
Many. So we can just get up and have a drink and start drinking, because I like women that mess with women. I don't like exploratory. I think that's a good word. Yeah. That's what I had to tell her.
Yeah,
like, if you've never touched, she never touched. Never touched. Divorced to this day from her. Never touched her.
But see, that just seems, I can't say far-fetched, but to me, when you in the bed with somebody, it seemed like...
No, these girls don't get touched. Like, they don't get touched.
You were in the bed with that person.
My argument is men get touched. Like, the hardest of the men get touched. I mean, but I would think that niggas get touched. Like, I think men get touched. Like, all men. I'm so serious. I know you're Eddie, but I think men get touched. I'm so serious. And like, I don't understand how the horror studs on here. Like, I like, my dating life is a shambles, because like, it just like, cause people be like, I don't know, like, you wear both type of like, yo, like, ooh, child, it's a mess. Girl, it's a mess.
Oh, well, we have come to the end of this week's episode. I want to first thank you for listening to the insanity that crosses our minds. To those who partake and entertain in my conversations, without you, there will be no hanging out with Hayzel. To Platinum Way Ray and Mac of the Tracks, we're looking out for my dope beat. And last but not least, shout out to my other half for making this possible. Because at the end of the day, she is I and I am her. If you thought this show was interesting, be sure to tune in to next week's episode and tell a friend. Support the movement. All things Hayzel Greene. Find my books on Amazon.com. Follow, listen, and like at Hayzelgreene.com. Hayzel Greene on Facebook and Hayzelgreene216 on IG. 2 fingers, and I'm out. Hey.